On April 27th, 2025, I dropped a video on how Lil Durk could be getting released after new documents debunk evidence posted by fans.
It don't sound like it's getting
good.
good.
The next day, the feds clapped back.
Woo!
FBI, open up!
The very next day. Now, I want y'all to let me know, because I posted this video yesterday. You feel, do your homework. I want y'all to let me know. I guarantee you, shorty, I guarantee you what I said in the last video is true. Because I know, I just be knowing stuff like that's alright.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all, and y'all rocking with me. And for this video, I brought the clap back because in the last video, y'all got on my ass in the comments. So I brought it back for y'all. Matter of fact, we'll do it again. What's up, everybody?
Okay, we ain't doing all that.
We're gonna be speaking on the feds clapping back at me, Durk, his legal team, because I dropped the video in the very next day. They shot back.
They shot
with
back
a list of reasons not to release Lil Durk.
List. I bet you it's new evidence. Like I said, I'm a genie. I'm That's So Raven. That's So Mako. Do your homework.
28th, 2025, the federal government would file its opposition to Durk being reconsidered for bond.
Right.
The feds would start strongly saying Durk is charged with directing 6 hitmen to travel across the country to hunt and kill Quando Rondo.
Right.
Durk allegedly orchestrated and financed a brazen murder plot that ended with shooters ambushing Quando at a gas station.
Now, we already know this story, but I'm going to let y'all know something right now. Imagine paying all that money. Imagine doing all that, flying on the jets, going different location, getting a hotel in LA, all that, trying to track Quando Rondo down. You pay all that money for your hitman to do some work, and they get the wrong nigga.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got
broad daylight, killing his cousin Lil Pab.
Stupid.
Immediately after learning his hitmen were arrested, the feds would allege Durk attempted to flee the country.
Of course he did.
In the early hours of October 24th, 2024,
damn, it was October when this
federal
happened?
and local law enforcement executed multiple search warrants on OTF members throughout Chicago, arresting the hit squad. Soon after, the FBI learned Durk had been booked on 3 international flights, including one to a non-extradition country.
Yeah, he tried to get up out of there.
The feds wouldn't be able to get him back. Durk would skip the first 2 flights and was arrested when he showed up to board a private jet scheduled to leave the U.S.
That was crazy.
Once in custody, Durk was considered a flight risk and danger to the community.
Hold on, wait a minute.
To prove
why he didn't have somebody else book the jet, or why he ain't call somebody and just like borrow their jet or something like that. Why would you book one? If you know the feds looking for you, why would you get online on your phone and book a jet in your name with your card and try to, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand.
Such danger, they reiterated he sent the hit squad across the country to hunt and kill a rapper.
Right.
They also submitted evidence that this was not his first murder for hire plot. Durk allegedly offered money for any gangster disciple to be killed after his brother D-Thang was killed in a club. The courts agreed Durk was dangerous, using money, influence, and power to take out his enemies.
Yeah.
Now, Durk's legal team would prove Durk's lyrics were written 7 months prior to the murder of Lil Pab. Durk saying, "Look on the news and see your son screaming no, no," makes more sense that he was talking about someone's mom hypothetically watching the news of their son's death and screaming no.
Right.
Because who the fuck could have predicted that 7 months into the future that Quando Rondo would be screaming no?
But I'm gonna let you know something. A lot of these niggas be having deals with the devil. Do your homework on the deal with the devil. A lot of these niggas be having, you know what I'm saying? So how we know the devil ain't come up from hell and whisper in Durk's ear, he's gonna scream no. Say it on a song. You never know. I want to put y'all on to some of the easiest money you'll ever make in your life. Freecash.com is a website that allows you to literally get paid hundreds of dollars just for playing video games on your phone. All you need is an email and a password. Follow the directions on each of the campaigns and you can earn at least $100. My personal favorite game to play was Sunrise Island, and when I clicked on it, they had a $370 bonus. I got $370 just for playing a video game on my phone. On average, it only takes about 17 minutes for most people to start earning money on freecash.com. So if you need some free, easy, extra money, go to freecash.com, click the QR code right here, or go in the description below and start getting that bag. You did?
On the news. But the Fed shot back, saying it doesn't matter if fan-made video edits made things look a certain way,
right,
or if the timing of the lyrics didn't add up. They are literally still trying to use his lyrics against him just because it's talking about murder, even if it isn't this murder. The feds would also point out Durk offered the same amount of money as last time for bond and it was rejected.
Right.
And Durk's legal team didn't even try to prove he wasn't a danger to the community.
There's no way to prove that.
And didn't try to flee. The feds would state Durk wasn't arrested because of fan-made videos. He was arrested because he is alleged to be the leader of a violent organization.
Right.
Orchestrated and funded an execution-style murder with machine guns and tried to flee the country.
Right. And that's what hurt them too. Do your homework on hurting them. Instead of turning yourself right in and trying to bond out, now you turn yourself in or you got arrested or whatever, you can't bond out because they caught you red-handed trying to get on a jet out the country. And if you would have left the country, they wouldn't have never been able to get you again. So it's like now that you did that and they caught you red-handed right there at the airport, my guy, they're not letting you. I don't give a fuck how much money you trying to talk about you getting. They're not letting you out, bro. Unless they can put a chip up your ass and track you like that, bro, it's not happening, gang. Because the ankle monitor might go on. All they finna say is, Your Honor, he tried to flee the country already. If we put an ankle monitor on his ankle, who's to say he won't cut it off, get on the jet, flee the country, and we never see him again? He already tried. Look. You feel me?
Durk named himself The Voice. And the feds allege he's used that voice to speak on violence as he rapped about paying for murders, hunting his ops with switches, bounty hunters in Beverly Hills, and other lyrics that can all somewhat be related to the murder of Lil Pab. The feds would also highlight a song Durk had with Gucci Mane titled Rumors, in which Durk said, I don't want the you catch, I want the one I paid for. So
you gotta be 10 times. Do you know how slow you got to be, shorty? Do you know how slow you gotta be to be outside really catching real bodies, gang? You catching real bodies. And even if you not catching real bodies, you around other people who are catching the bodies. So why would you ever get on a rap song and talk about murder at all? If you gonna talk about murder, you need to be talking about something that you completely made up. And you need to get on the video, on the song before it starts and be like, everything is made up. You can't say everything made up and then start talking about this nigga, bro. He said, "It's just in case the police listen. This is all cap. It's not real." Then he said, "Don't reply to from Vaughn." I'm like, "You get your gun, bro." Vaughn is really dead, bro. Quando Rondo really got shot at. His cousin really died. Why would you ever get on here and even like play like that? That don't make sense as a grown ass man with damn near $100 million. Why would you ever do that?
Again, the feds are desperately attempting to use lyrics to fit their narrative. The feds are saying if the lyrics aren't true, it doesn't matter because Durk is dangerous. But then they try to show more lyrics after saying the other lyrics don't matter. The feds would end their summary stating it isn't about how Durk made his money, but about how he chose to spend it and wield his power in 2022 on death and violence. And keep in mind, everything spoke on in this video isn't in regards to beating the case, it's for Durk to be granted a bond in which he'll be placed on house arrest. Durk would be handing over a substantial amount of money while being placed on a GPS monitor, eliminating the possibility of him fleeing the country.
Right.
The chances of him having the ability to commit more crime under strict supervision is close to none. So what would appear if he was released, he not only wouldn't be a flight risk, he wouldn't be dangerous.
Oh,
We'll just
okay.
have to wait and see what.
That's what you said. That's what you said. That ain't the truth, bro. Just because you out on bond and all that don't mean you can't be dangerous. Just because you out on bond, that don't mean nothing. Somebody can get out on bond and put a hit out on somebody the next day. That ain't gonna fly in court. You got to come up with something better than that, bro. Like, oh, he gonna be on a monitor. He's on bond, so he not gonna be a threat to. He not gonna be dangerous. You know how many niggas that got out on bond and caught another body? Do your homework. Come on now, bro. Let's stop. Come on, man. Y'all been reaching for this. See, I thought gangsters went to jail. I thought that's what gangsters did. I thought gangsters was outside, switchies, glickies, blickies. They on they block. They'll unalive you right now if you play with them. Can't nobody touch them. Can't nobody play with them. They outside like that. They living like that. They thugging. They'll unalive you in a second if you ever look at them wrong. I thought it was like that. And you people like that go to jail, bro. You don't get to go to jail and be like, I was just playing, y'all. I'm not really like that. Please, Your Honor, please. That ain't how this shit work. You don't get to catch real bodies, put hits out on real people, get people really killed, and then rap about all the murders that you committing, rap about all the ops, rap about how much you want to kill people, get caught on camera with guns, hang around a bunch of other savage gangsters is unaliving people. Then as soon as you get locked up in the feds, you talking about let me out, I'm not gonna be a threat, please. That's stupid. That don't fly, gang. That's not how life works, shorty. Like, you don't get to go in the middle of the street and say, I'll beat everybody ass right now. And then when somebody square up, you like, no, I was just playing. No. What happened? What happened to all the gangster shit? What happened to how tough and gangster and killer and savage you was? Go sit in jail. That's what the gangsters do, bro. Go sit your ass in jail. You should be happy. This should be your home. This should be your happy place right here, bro. Because this is where you want to be. Because it's not like you was catching bodies and you was being quiet about it. It's not like you was catching bodies and you was never on Instagram. You was on Instagram, on live, talking crazy, dissing ops, talking about the dead, talking about the ops you killing, talking about the bodies you dropping, and then catching more bodies. Your best friend was King Von, who had 42 bodies, and you helped him get out of jail. Like, what we talking about right now, twin? Like, y'all, you get how delusional this shit is? Like, it don't...
Courts decide.
I don't understand.
Now, this is interesting. I don't know if it was just timing or the feds literally responded to the video I made. Like, nah, 1090 Jake, he sounds too good. It's making sense. We should let Durk out. We need to drop a new motion as to why we shouldn't. I don't know.
It doesn't make any
to
sense.
me, it was like, yeah, if you're trying to keep him in custody because of a fan-made video, and you found out the lyrics actually didn't have to do with the murder, and it was written 7 months prior, none of that should be used against them. Makes sense. So now they're trying to double down and say Durk is a danger to the community because he will send his...
Do you think they locked Lil Durk up? I'm asking y'all, all of y'all, and 1090 Jake too. You think they locked Lil Durk up because of what he said in the song? Or you think the federal government, the FBI came... You think the FBI came and locked him up because of real evidence? Or do you think they locked him up because he said something on the song? I don't think the feds play like that, bro. I don't think the feds play off no lyrics. They might be playing with it now to try to increase the reasons, but I think they're only doing this because they don't want to release evidence. They don't want to have to tell Lil Durk what evidence they have so that his lawyer can prepare a case for him. They don't want to do, so they're using the lyrics to try to just keep him in jail right now until the trial starts. And as soon as the trial starts, they're going to smash him with evidence. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. But
your state to get you killed. And then not only that, Durk will apparently make songs about it after he gets you killed. And then not only that, when his killers get arrested, he'll jump on a flight and go to a country that he can't legally be brought back from. Well, here's the thing. You locked up the hit squad, so he can't send another hit, right?
Why
You're getting
not?
a shitload of his money if he gets out on bond, so the money ain't gonna be there.
1090 Jake, you sound delusional like them, bro. Let's rewatch what he said.
Brought back from. Well, here's the thing. You locked up the hit squad, so he can't send another hit, right?
They locked up 5-6 niggas. If you watch any of Lil Durk videos, it's 100 people in there with ski masks on. You don't think none of them got bodies? So that point was invalid. You see how that point was invalid. Come on, gang. So he can't get out of it's impossible for him to get out of jail and pay anybody else that's not locked up to catch a body, or any other street person to catch a body. Like, that's not gonna hold up in court. Let's go to the next point.
He's getting a shitload of his money if he gets out on bond, so the money ain't gonna be there.
You getting a lot of money if he gets out on bond, but so the money's not gonna be there. Bro, it's not his money. First of all, the label is not going to let Lil Durk, whatever label Lil Durk is signed to, they're not going to let him pay money out of pocket. The label is going to come bond him out. He might have to pay that back later, but if you think that's Lil Durk, all of Lil Durk's money, you have lost your rabbit ass mind. You think Lil Durk don't got no cash sitting somewhere? You think Lil Durk don't got millions of dollars in cars, millions of dollars in jewelry? So you can't say he ain't gonna have no money. This is just, it's not making no sense, bro. What's the next point?
He's under the strictest supervision because it's the fucking feds. And if he's on a GPS, he can't fly anywhere. His passport's not going to be active. So literally, the danger to the community and the flight risk is gone if he's released. So why not release him?
Yeah, that sounds good for all the Lil Durk fans and shit. In reality, that sounds stupid. That's not how it works.
This is where the feds fucked up, in my opinion.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
They're saying that even if the lyrics were written 7 months prior, it still relates to murder, and it could be another murder, and we think Durk sent all these murders, right? If the lyrics don't matter, they don't matter. So why are you trying to go dig up a song with Gucci Mane as another example of, look, he's talking about paying for a murder? It's all fucking hypothetical, right?
No, it's not! It's not hypothetical if they have evidence on you for a... What is we talking about right now? They have evidence on you for a murder, and then you opened your mouth and talked about murders on a song. That ain't hypothetical. That's what you said. What the fuck? See, people don't want you to... They don't want you to be able to use songs, but if you locked up for a murder, and then you go into jail, and you get to talking to people, and they get you on recording talking about it, they can use that against you. That's why you're supposed to shut the fuck up. That's why you're not supposed to snitch on yourself. That's why you're supposed to be quiet. First thing a lawyer tell you is don't say nothing. Don't even say how you doing. Don't say hello. Don't say yes, no. Don't say nothing to nobody in there because they'll use it against you. So why the fuck would you get on a rap song and ever say that? So they would have a chance to use it against you. And this shit makes sense to these people, gang.
Break down the lyrics from the other song. You looking on the news and see your son, you screaming no. That sounds like a mom looking on the news and seeing her son and screaming no. You know what I mean? Like, this is normal drill shit. This is shit that's talked about in drill music.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You can talk about it in drill music if you're not doing it. You cannot talk about crimes that you are actually doing, bro. What the fuck are we talking about?
Death, make your mama cry, whatever. No one could have predicted Quando Rondo's reaction to seeing somebody die. Nobody could have predicted he screamed no. So the fact that the feds are desperately trying to find any lyrics they can that fit the narrative, and then when it's proven that it has nothing to do with it, say that, well, these lyrics don't matter because we have these lyrics. Again, it's becoming using lyrics against the rapper. Hopefully 99% of what's talked about in drill music is hypothetical, and then you got the crash shows that actually talk about real shit, right?
No, it's more than 99%. I don't think
that every single thing Durk has talked about or rapped about is factual, right?
Of course not.
Because if we look at every single song and every time he mentions something and you count that into bodies, what, Durk eliminated fucking 200 people in the last 10 years through his music? Like, we're not gonna go for that, bro. I don't think a jury's gonna go for that. I don't think that's gonna work. At the end of the day,
okay,
Durk has a wild case. When the federal government says you sent a hit squad to execute someone in broad daylight with machine guns, and then you tried to flee the country, that's big. Nobody wants that case.
So why y'all acting like it's not?
Feel confident in that case. That's some wild Al Capone type fucking Scarface shit right there, right? That's fucked. But again, everything we spoke on in this video isn't about beating the case, it's about being released on bond. So let me know y'all's thoughts in the comment section. You've heard his defense. You've heard what the feds are saying. Do y'all think he will get bond?
Hey gang, y'all can't be this delusional, bro. What do the comments say? Sound like the feds just sit back and watch YouTube videos all day to make their case. Y'all are so stupid. In the words of Bruce Rivers, stop self-snitching. No cap. I thought I was the only one bugging. They ain't talking about nothing in the comments. I ain't gonna lie though. Listen, gang. It gotta be something wrong. It gotta be something wrong with you to think that anything that 1090 Jake was just saying makes sense to me, personally, in my opinion. You feel me? Because like I said, the feds are not coming to lock nobody up because of what you said in the video or what you said in the song or what you said on Instagram or what you said on live or none of that. They might use what you said to go gather real evidence, but they're not going to lock you up just because you said you unalived somebody in the song. They're going to lock you up if they got evidence that you unalived somebody and then talked about it in the song. So all that sound real cool, but first of all, we all know that the feds gonna play by how they want to play. You don't have no more say so. And again, like I said earlier in the video, shorty, if you want to be a gangster so bad, if you want to really catch bodies and then you want to really get on the song and talk about the bodies you caught, what you think finna happen to you, bro? What do you think is about to come out of that? What good do you think is about to happen from you doing that? You know how many innocent people is in jail right now that's locked up just because they was in a car with a motherfucker? Or locked up just because they picked somebody up from a murder scene and took them to the crib and now they accessory and they got 15 years sitting here? That's why you're supposed to play the streets. If you're going to play the streets, you're supposed to play them right. First, it's not no right way to play them. That's the first rule. So if you going to play them, you already playing the streets wrong as hell by snitching on yourself. Then you want to try to take back what you said on the song after you get locked up for it? That ain't how that works. Why don't we stop talking about the shit? Why don't we stop? How easy is that? How easy is it to talk about somebody named Bruce that you've never met? How easy is it to make believe stories? They don't want to do that though. They want to keep it real. They want to keep it street. They want to keep it real in the songs. They slow, folks. They don't understand how life working. So they think, oh, I got to talk about the real crimes in here. Or that's what's really going to make me a real gangster. They think about so much other shit until they get to jail. They didn't think about it that far. They didn't think about them bars closing on your ass. You ain't think about your kids crying for their daddy every other day. You ain't think about your girl struggling to pay bills and she got to worry about all this and that, the third. You ain't think about your mom and your dad who got to do this and do that. You ain't think about none of that. You just thought about impressing a bunch of other niggas and proving to them that you gangster. And that's weird, lame, and a little sweet to me, folks. I'm sorry. Lil Durk. I'm not gonna be the nigga on here lying, gang. I'm just not gonna do it, folks. I'm sorry.